Do you ever get a flash of a cartoon from your childhood, a show you know you loved, but it just disappeared? The 2000s were a wild time for animation. For every long-running hit, there was a weird, amazing, or totally original show that came and went in a flash. Today, we're diving into the 2000s cartoons that vanished after just 1 or 2 seasons. Network screw-ups, weird time slots, full-on international controversies. You won't believe why some of these shows were canceled so fast. You're watching Nostalgia Avenue, and these are the 2000s cartoons that came and went. Number 1. Clerks, the animated series. Our first exhibit is a show so short-lived, you might have blinked and missed it. In 2000, ABC debuted Clerks, the animated series, based on Kevin Smith's cult classic indie film. It had the original actors, the same sharp, slacker humor, and a unique animation style from Steven Silver, who would later design characters for Kim Possible and Danny Phantom. The show was set to continue the daily shenanigans of Dante Hicks and Randall Graves at the Quick Stop convenience store, this time with completely outlandish animated scenarios. The pilot introduces a villainous megastore owner, Leonardo, voiced by Alec Baldwin, and ends with a wild twist that the whole thing might just be in Randall's head. It was meta, weird, and hilarious. So, what went wrong? It was a classic case of a network completely mishandling a property it didn't understand. ABC infamously aired the episodes out of order. They premiered with the 4th episode, then followed it with the 2nd. This was a disaster because that 2nd episode was packed with flashbacks and jokes referencing the 1st episode, which hadn't even aired yet. Audiences were lost, ratings tanked, and ABC canceled the show after airing only 2 of the 6 completed episodes. The network bought a show known for its edgy, pop culture-heavy dialogue, got cold feet, and aired it in a way that guaranteed its failure. The remaining episodes eventually aired on Comedy Central and later found a cult following on DVD and Adult Swim, leaving fans to wonder what could have been. Number 2. The Oblongs. Next up, a series that was truly ahead of its time. A brilliant piece of social satire disguised as a bizarre family sitcom. The Oblongs. Premiering on the WB on April 1, 2001, the show was based on Angus Oblong's book, Creepy Susie and 13 Other Tragic Tales for Troubled Children. It centered on the Oblong family, who lived in a polluted valley, suffering from various physical deformities and disabilities caused by the toxic waste runoff from the wealthy, pristine community of The Hills. The patriarch, Bob Oblong, voiced by Will Ferrell, had no arms or legs. His wife, Pickles, was a bald, chain-smoking alcoholic. Their children and neighbors had equally strange afflictions. At a time when most network cartoons were playing it safe, the Oblongs went full dark comedy. Despite the grim premise, the show was anything but. It was a sharp, witty commentary on class division, environmentalism, and social status with a ton of heart. The characters were surprisingly endearing, and the show treated their disabilities not as a constant punchline, but as a simple fact of their lives. So why did it vanish? The WB just didn't know what to do with it. The show failed to find a large enough audience, and citing low viewership, the network canceled it just over a month after its premiere on May 20, 2001, leaving 5 of the 13 episodes unaired. According to creator Angus Oblong, the network also forced changes, which diluted his original vision by making the show more like a traditional family sitcom and less like the weirder source material. Like many shows on this list, The Oblongs was rescued from total obscurity by Adult Swim, which aired the complete series in 2002 and allowed it to finally connect with the audience it was always meant for. Number 3. Clone High. Imagine a high school populated by the teenage clones of historical figures. Abraham Lincoln is a lanky, awkward protagonist in love with the popular and self-obsessed Cleopatra. His best friends are the perpetually gloomy Joan of Arc and the hyperactive party animal clone of Mahatma Gandhi. That was the brilliant, surreal premise of Clone High, which premiered on MTV in 2002. From the minds of Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the duo who would later give us The Lego Movie and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the show was a masterclass in satire, parodying teen dramas while delivering genuinely smart, character-driven comedy. It was critically acclaimed, whip-smart, and beloved by those who saw it. So why did it only last 1 season? While low ratings were a factor, the real nail in the coffin was an international controversy. The show's portrayal of Gandhi as a fast-talking, attention-seeking party boy caused outrage in India. The depiction was seen as deeply offensive, leading to protests. Around 150 protesters, including members of parliament and Gandhi's great-grandson, participated in a hunger strike outside MTV India's offices, demanding the show be pulled. They even threatened to have MTV India's broadcasting license revoked. Faced with an international incident, MTV panicked. The creators, Lord and Miller, were asked to pitch ideas for a second season without Gandhi, even suggesting a ridiculous retcon where it would be revealed he was actually a clone of Gary Coleman. But the network ultimately decided it was too much trouble and canceled the show, leaving it on a massive cliffhanger that wouldn't be resolved for nearly 2 decades until its revival in the 2020s. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane and these animation mysteries, hit that subscribe button. We dig up forgotten cartoons like this all the time, and you don't want to miss what's next. Now, back to the cartoons that time forgot. Number 4. Whatever happened to Robot Jones? The very title of this next show sounds like a question we're trying to answer. Whatever happened to Robot Jones? Premiered on Cartoon Network in 2002 and stood out immediately for its unique retro art style, deliberately modeled after 1970s and 80s cartoons like Schoolhouse Rock. The show followed a young robot trying to navigate the perils of a human middle school in a distinctly 80s-era setting. What made the show truly special at first was Robot Jones's voice. He was voiced by text-to-speech software, giving him a genuinely robotic, flat delivery. For Season 2, Cartoon Network executives decided that was too weird and redubbed him with a human child actor, Bobby Block. They even went back and redubbed the original episodes, making the original versions incredibly hard to find for years. Fans hated the change, and combined with a lack of support from the network and creative differences that led creator Greg Miller to leave, the show quietly ended after just 13 episodes over 2 short seasons. Robot Jones became exactly what his title suggested. Obscure media people would one day ask, whatever happened to Number 5. Megas XLR. In 2004, Cartoon Network unleashed a show that was a love letter to mecha anime, video games, and American car culture all at once. Megas XLR was about 2 slackers from New Jersey, Coop and Jamie, who discover a giant robot from the future. Instead of using it to, save the world responsibly, Coop replaces its head with a classic muscle car and rigs the controls to a set of video game controllers. Along with the robot's original pilot, Kiva, they defend the Earth from aliens, but usually cause millions of dollars in property damage along the way. The show's tagline said it all. You dig giant robots. I dig giant robots. We dig giant robots. Chicks dig giant robots. The show was pure, unadulterated fun. It was packed with action, hilarious dialogue, and endless parodies of everything from Gundam to Godzilla. So why was it benched after just 2 seasons? This one is a little complicated. The show had decent reviews but struggled with ratings partly because it was often placed in poor time slots with little promotion. Years after its cancellation, co-creator George Christitz claimed that Cartoon Network had written the show off for tax purposes. If true, that would create a big financial incentive not to spend more money putting it on DVD, streaming, or bringing it back. While it wouldn't make a revival legally impossible, it would make it a lot less likely, effectively locking this fan-favorite series away in a vault of corporate accounting. For a show all about blowing things up in style, it's ironic that the thing that finally destroyed it was paperwork. Number 6. Cat Scratch. Our final entry is one of Nickelodeon's most underrated and bizarre creations of the 2000s, Cat Scratch. Premiering in 2005, the show was created by Doug TenNapel, the same mind behind the video game character Earthworm Jim. The premise was wonderfully absurd. 3 cat brothers, Mr. Blick, Gordon, and Waffle, inherit a massive fortune and a butler from their deceased owner. Suddenly, they're living in a mansion and going on wild, chaotic adventures, fueled by their newfound wealth and their distinct personalities. One is greedy and arrogant, one is kind and Scottish, and one is just plain stupid. The show is pure slapstick energy, known for its rubbery animation, surreal humor, and memorable character designs. It felt like a classic Looney Tunes cartoon updated for a new generation. Despite being nominated for several awards, Cat Scratch only lasted for a single season of 20 episodes. There was never an official reason given for the cancellation. However, it was thrown into a lineup dominated by SpongeBob SquarePants and the Fairly Odd Parents at their absolute peak. Any show that wasn't an instant ratings monster, especially something as weird as Cat Scratch, never really stood a chance. Its ratings were moderate, but not strong enough to justify more episodes. So, like many creative Nicktoons of the era, it was quietly retired to make more room for the sponge. From disastrous network scheduling to international incidents and the cold, hard logic of a tax write-off, the reasons these shows disappeared are as varied and fascinating as the cartoons themselves. They were victims of bad timing, corporate politics, or simply being too weird for their time. But even though their runs were short, they left a massive impact, becoming cult classics that are still remembered and loved by fans who were lucky enough to catch them the first time around. They're the brilliant, short-lived wonders that prove sometimes the best shows burn brightest for the shortest time. And trust me, this isn't the last time we'll be digging up lost cartoons from the vault. And if you missed our deep dive into the one-season wonders of the 90s, that video's waiting for you next. What one-season wonder do you think deserves a second chance? Are there any forgotten favorites we missed? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you love this kind of deep dive nostalgia, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next trip down memory lane. Thanks for watching.